CTV Celebrates Creativity is brought to you by Sol EC Limited, EC Global, Digicel, Jean-Marie & Sons. Welcome back to CTV's Celebrate Creativity as we feature Claudia Edward. Her conversation with Bernard Fanis shifts to her incursion into theatre and what it was like working with Derek Walcott.
You've been to not just on the performance stage, you've been on the theatre stage as well.
Yes.
Not just in Celebrity, but Europe.
Yes.
Now, we know Honorable Sir Derek Walcott has had you involved in his production.
Yes.
What about the theatre that appealed to you?
I will admit that I never thought about doing theater. I mean, that was never like on my agenda, like I want to be an actress or anything like that. I was at CDF and Derek was there and I knew of him. I'd never met him. And then he asked somebody, who is this girl? And then she says, oh, that's Claudia, the singer. And I could hear them in the background, right? And I'm pretending, you know. And then he looks at me and says, come here. So I said, what's wrong with this? But come here, who do you think you're talking to? And at that time I'm young and I think I know it all, you know. So Delia, it is Delia, she says to me, Francois, she says, Claudia, just go. And then he was actually doing rehearsals for his play, The Odyssey, at Pigeon Island. And then I said, Delia, are you going too? And she says, yes, I'm going. So I said, okay. So I went with them. And he made them put some cloth around me and he says, you're Helen of Troy. I said, I've never done this, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. No, you're Helen of Troy.
You haven't seen a script, anything?
Nothing. And that's how it all started, and I was Helen of Troy.
And what was your role? You were...
I was like a big shot, you know. I was the one that everybody was fighting over. It was a big role. And I was pretty scared. And I said, I've never done this. I don't think I can do this. And it was really a lot of work that I was not sure I wanted to put in. Rehearsals were like mostly every day. And Derek is tough, you know, it's tough to work with.
You had singing parts in there as well?
Yes, and I was only supposed to be Helen of Troy, and then I was the band singer, the lead singer of the band, you know, so it was a lot of work. But I feel so honored and fortunate to have been a part of it. And he came to my house and he says, he just comes to my house. He says, I want to talk to you. Can I come inside?
Wow.
Okay, this guy. So he comes in and he says, we're going to Europe. We're doing some tours. Would you be interested in coming with us? I was like, yeah, of course. And then we ended up going to Spain, to Italy. It was amazing. It was really one of the things that I have and I can tell my kids about.
You've done theater since then, but is it something that you want to continue doing?
I love it, yes. And any opportunity I get to do it, I'll do it. Simply because what it did for me is that when I hit stage, when I'm singing, it brings out that performer in me, that artist, that only because I've had that experience with Derek and with other playwrights that I can really truly understand what it means to come out of yourself. Because for me, when I was on stage before, it was about Claudia looking all pretty, and for me now, it's about the art. It's not about, singing can be very ugly at times, meaning with your facial expressions. And so now for me, it's not about being pretty on stage, it's about delivering. And you have to come out of that girl and become the artist, the performer, which is what I learned from working with Derek. Because one time he said to me, Claudia, that prettiness, that's not what we're here for. You have to be who you're supposed to be on stage. So for me, that really helped.
Hey, take a dip now. You're never ever gonna get a love like this. You better count your blessings, boy.
So you've graced stages, like you said, in Europe.
Yes.
And also Thailand. So give us an idea how the Thailand gig came about.
Well, I go online a lot to try to find festivals and opportunities. And I found an agent and I spoke to him and he said, yeah, we could put you up in Thailand. And the very first time, I have to say, it was really scary because I've never done this. It's been so far from home. I had to travel alone and I don't know this agent and I don't know if any of this is real. You know, yeah, I don't know if this is real. And
so you just booked the flight and you just took off?
They book your flight.
And you took off?
Yeah.
Never met the person before? You had no other references of who that person was?
No.
Wow.
they have a website. This thing's gonna be scary. Yeah,
scary.
I went, checked him out, his website, where he told me I'd be performing. I check out those places, and sent emails to a few people who I knew who performed there according to what I had seen. I did a little research, but I still wasn't 100% sure what I was doing was right. You know, going so far. I mean, it's not just Barbados, you know. It's a long flight, but I did it. When I got there, everything was perfect. So after that, the company said to me, can we go to you directly? So now I don't have an agent, but every year I still get called back.
Okay, so give us a sense of how different is that experience compared to here, and even when in Europe when you perform.
Right, it's very different because they love the exotic look. They love the music because it's really a jazz gig, but then I put a little reggae in there and I bring a Caribbean feel to it that I think they love, which is why I get called back, because for me, a lot of the singers who've worked with that company, they just stand and sing, you know, but I'm a performer at heart, so I can't do that. I have to perform, and when I'm on stage, it's very interactive. They're very appreciative. They love music. They love American music. They love anything that comes out that's international.
I'm in Pattaya, Thailand, and I'm staying at the Hilton. I'm here to do a little performance at the Silver Lining Restaurant, beach restaurant, with my buddy Kunda. So I'll keep you posted as to what's happening, where I am. Very excited.
So now you've sat down to working on the edge. First of all, did the name come first, or how did you arrive at that name for the album?
The song came first. Christopher Hunt had always promised to write me a song, and he had a couple songs for me to listen to, and he had On the Edge, and he says, well, I've already done that song, Claudia. I said, okay, I listened to all the songs, but I like On the Edge, I want to redo it. And he was quite hesitant to give me the song, I'll tell you that, because I think that song was his baby. But he did like, okay, take the song, you know. So I ended up doing the song, and I love the song. I mean, the song brought out so much in me. When I sang it, it was so real. And I said, wow, I gotta call the album On the Edge, because the song really touched me. The fact it's really a slow song, but it has that build up. So I just fell in love with the song.
My life is at the edge. What more can I do? All the things I've dreamt never did come true.
I like the guitar intro on it.
It's
Who's
amazing. It's Lovens. His name is Lovens. I think he's overseas now, but the guitar work is his.
There's some excellent musicmanship in that as well. So we'll talk a little bit about the producers. In fact, we're going to talk about the producers now.
Well, Lebo produced the track. Christopher Hunt wrote the entire song, and Lovens, I think that's his name. Yes, he did the guitar work on the track.
Times we spent felt so real. What it meant, what was the deal? Where did it go? How was it lost? Why didn't we know? What was the cost? I love you, tell me what you feel, 'cause baby I can't live, even though I doubt you. I love you, tell me if it's real, 'cause baby I can't breathe when I'm without you.
So how many writers did you work with on this album?
Three
of them.
Christopher Hunt, Rossi, and myself. That's the three.
Now, cool, and you've worked with Rossi for a while.
Yeah, I've worked with Rossi for, I think My Check was the first album I did with Rossi, and this one, On the Edge.
And working with Christopher is almost legendary now.
Yes, Exactly, and Christopher Neal actually is a writer on the album as well. Christopher Neal, he lives in New Jersey now, so I traveled there and I did 3 of my tracks on the album at his studio, biggest live studio.
Shalala, 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 hot shot. I hope you find me right spot. Come test me now.
Was it one who did your first recording? Or?
Yes, Shalala was done by Christopher Neal, and I mean that. I always tell people that how thankful I am with these people I worked with from the beginning. Christopher Neal did my album, didn't charge me studio time, didn't charge me for writing or anything. It was my first album, you know, and for that I'll always be grateful. I paid to get my albums mastered and all of that, but all the work that he did, he charged me for nothing, you know, so that's something important to me. And for me, the fact that we're still friends, it says a lot about him as a person, you know, and developing relationships with people.
I want to say good night to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate the fact that you were here. It's lovely to see so much white. Hey, thanks for coming.
You put quite a lot into the launch of On the Edge.
Yes.
It obviously meant something very special to you. What is the, and people came to the launch and participated in the event itself. What is the message that you wanted them, persons who were there leaving, what did you want them to leave with?
The fact that I've grown as a musician, I think for me that's most important. I started with Shalala, and now I'm on the edge, and I feel that I'm on the edge of something really good, something really great. And standing on that edge for me means that I can either go down or up. I can see what's below, but there's always something above me. So I'm aiming for the top, and I wanted them to realize that this is where I started, this is where I am now. And for me, the launch was important, and I had a lot of people who helped me from the beginning at that launch, and I really wanted to thank them. When you talk about people like Wallace, when I did Reason to Love, my very first recording, and these people were so influential in my life. Arthur T-Song, who put me in hotels and helped me strengthen my vocals, you know. So it's just I wanted them to know that there were persons along in my journey who brought me where I am today.
First time we met, my, you caught my breath. Hi, we're so complex. My, boy, you passed the test. Hi, first impression. Let me break the news. Sweet sensation. There's no one like you. No limitation in anything you do. Great conversation. No one can fit your shoes. Oh, baby, there's no maybe. You are my addiction. Oh, baby, there's no maybe. You are my addiction. You got that vibe, that good vibe. You got that vibe, that good vibe. You got that vibe, that good vibe. You got that vibe.
CTV Celebrates Creativity is brought to you by Sol EC Limited, EC Global, Digicel, Jean-Marie & Sons.